Hi, I'm Michelle Sterling for Friends of Science Society. Recently we hosted Marijn Poels, the award-winning Dutch filmmaker, who brought us a screening of his film, The Uncertainty Has Settled. Poels worked overseas for about 9 years in poverty and conflict countries and places where food security was a real issue. So when he came back to Germany and the EU, he found it to be very surprising that farmers were switching out food crops for wind farms and biogas, and he had some concerns about that. He wondered, are we really doing the right thing?
So that was my biggest concern. Are we doing the right thing, and are we not losing too much valuable land? And besides of that, I seen in the third world countries, one of the major problems is that people simply don't have arable land anymore. So they're not able to grow their own food, to sell their own food, so to get an income, pay healthcare, education. And that is a big problem in the world. 40% of the world's arable land is already degraded. And what you're receiving with the energy crops, it's, you're only having monocultures, which in the long run degrading land.
You mean like the rapeseed?
The rapeseeds, yeah. The biofuels. And that's a big concern for the future, to not only have domestic food security, but also to take care of your land, because that's affecting biodiversity, it's causing environmental conflicts. And I think we should, when we have that system shift, you should maintain the balance of people, planet, profit. And when you see that is out of balance, which I see right now, that it's not contributing to people because energy is becoming very expensive and very unreliable. Every year 300,000 German households are simply not able to pay their bills anymore, so they cut off for electricity. And you imagine Germany is the biggest economy in Europe. And that's a story we cannot use, that people will have no electricity during the winter and celebrate their Christmas with a candlelight.
So imagine now, in a highly industrialized country in the West, that millions of people are celebrating Christmas by candlelight because their electricity has been cut off, because it costs too much to power their own homes.
Right, you see, that's an image of nowadays that you see in this high developed Western world, that you're seeing families celebrating Christmas with only a candlelight because they're not able to pay their electricity bills anymore. And most of the Germans like to present itself as the biggest economy in Europe, but most Germans are not particularly wealthy, and it's over 20% of the population is threatened by poverty, which is 60 million people. And that the proportions of threatened people are higher than ever since the unification of West and East Germany. So I think Germany faces a lot of problems, and we should be very careful in dealing with these problems. And when you do that system shift and you see that the people are not able to go with that system shift, you should ask very critical questions. And if not, you should question yourself, why are we doing this? Are we saving the climate? Do we want to save the climate? Do we want to save the planet? Or do we want to save humanity? Mm-hmm. And I think it should stay a project for the contribution to humanity.
So, do we want to save the planet? Do we want to stop climate change? Or do we want to address the needs of humanity? For Friends of Science Society, I'm Michelle Sterling.